you're trying to accomplish. So that was probably the best advice that I've heard.
Okay.
The worst advice that I've heard is be realistic. Be fucking for real.
Yeah.
I don't like people like that. That is the worst advice I've ever heard. Because
they're limited. They're limiting.
That's right. Don't be realistic. Be delusional.
Yeah.
Be absolutely as astronomically delusional as you would like.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if you shoot for the moon and you land on a star,
then you're good.
You win.
You're good.
There's no need to be realistic.
Okay. So let's talk about frequencies and environment and your circle. Because I believe to be successful, you have to operate on your highest frequency or a high frequency.
Now we're talking. Okay.
And you brought in this huge jug of water.
You want to see it?
Yep. Please show the people. This huge jug of water that's straight from the forest.
It's a natural spring,
natural spring water. And actually, I'm gonna get you to say it. What is important about that particular spring water for you?
So I'm a vegetarian, so
okay,
I really try to take care of my body because health is wealth, and I believe that. So I've been drinking spring water for 5 years now. I go out to the forest and I have my 1 gallon jugs, and I actually have one that's like a 4-liter jug as well. And I fill them up. And the reason why is because this water, because it comes right from the ground, it is the highest frequency that you can ingest on this plane. So if you think about the frequency of love and the way that the planet operates, which is on that 432 frequency, it's the same frequency as this water. So one of the things that I was going to say that is probably, no, I mean, it's weird, but it'll make sense. When I fill up my jugs, I fill them up with intention. So I'm filling up my jug and I'm like, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm happy, I'm successful. And I don't pull it out when it's full. I let the water overflow and I say, abundance. My cup overfloweth. You know what I mean? And so it's all part of putting yourself into that frequency. And then when I drink this water, the only thing that this water's frequency, the only frequency this water's on is I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy. So regardless of what's going on, my frequency stays high.
Jeez.
And I don't eat meat, so it stays high.
I don't eat meat either. How long?
That's dangerous.
How long?
5 years.
So I'm like 2 years now, 2.5.
Yeah. And
changed my life actually. I feel
and people don't understand. Meat it's a way to lower your frequency. You can't expect to eat something dead and not have any repercussions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can't. And if you think about the generational trauma that those animals go through, and I'm a vegetarian just because I wanted to clear my mind. I wanted to feel better. I don't care. If someone wants to eat meat, it's on them.
Yeah, me too. I don't.
It's none of my business. But if you think about the generational trauma that those animals endured, why would you want to eat that? You're stressing your own hormone. Like there's so many reasons why, but I'm not going to turn into PETA right now.
So you actually, how often do you go to the
multiple times a week? I'm probably there 3 times a week.
Jeez. And you're just filling up. And it's free water. That's
free water.
And the best water.
Do you see how clear this is? Didn't I tell you? There's no filtering on it. It comes out of the ground like this.
Jeez. And it's there for everybody.
It's there for everybody.
But
people don't go. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, why?
Because it's easier to go to the grocery store and get a 24-pack
for $3.99.
Than it is to drive out to the forest and really work to get your water. But there's another saying.
Talk to me.
Right? Like a man doesn't know the true value of life until they carry their own water. You'll never know the value of life until you carry your own water because you appreciate every sip. And I can guarantee I drink every sip of these waters. And when I go back, I might leave a little bit because I have to give back to earth, So I'll leave a little and then I'll give it back and say thank you. And then I'll refill. Same thing. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. Let's get it.
So do you meditate?
Absolutely. Every day.
Me too. So take me through your meditation routines. Is it first thing in the morning? That's first thing you do?
Yeah. So I wake up at 5 a.m.
Same.
I give thanks.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I do. And I think that was a game changer for me too.
Okay.
With getting me on my frequency, was waking up and saying, thank you for another day. You know, I appreciate it. And then when you go to bed saying, oh man.
Yeah, let's get into it.
When you go to bed, when I wake up, like, show me just how great life can get. Show me just how beautiful life can get when I wake up tomorrow. And then you wake up in the morning, you're like, thank you. I'm ready for the day, you know, like I appreciate another opportunity at life, because some people don't wake up. Yeah. So immediately I give thanks. I'm grateful. Get up, journal. I'll do my, I journal, which is scripting. I do a script where I talk about where I'm at, how I'm feeling. I check in. Are you doing these
things out loud?
No, I write. I script it. So I actually have a specific book and a calligraphy pen. So I'm literally scripting my life. I write out everything that I want, everything that's happening, how I'm feeling. And then I go and I do my gratitude journal. So I'll put that journal aside, and then I'll think about what I am grateful for right now. So what are my intentions right now when it comes to gratitude? And usually it's something that is something like, I'm grateful for my family, friends, and mentors. I'm grateful for my water, my food, my shelter. And then I'll do another page of my future intentions. So on that page, you already know it says, I'm grateful for my lake house. I'm grateful for the Model Y. So on that page, that's where I'm writing what I expect. You know what I mean? Because now I'm already in that space of gratitude. Then I do creative work. So I'll do an hour of brainstorming. I got a whiteboard, and I just,
and this is at the end of your day?
This is in the morning.
Oh,
this
in the morning.
All before 10 o'clock. This is my routine.
Okay.
So I write down all the creative ideas that I have that I might have like been inspired by during my whatevers. And then I go to the gym, and then, or actually I go to the gym, and then I have breakfast, and then I start work. Okay. So before I open my facility at 10 a.m., I've already put in 5 hours of
working your brain work.
Of brain work, but connecting with myself and with my intentions and with what I want out of life that day. And then I make it happen.
It reminds me, because I have a principle of life, and I feel like this is my opinion, of course, but the key to peace is when you're creating, when you're connecting, and when you're contributing, and you knock down all those things. And for example, if one of those things are off, then you're going to be off. Like, for example, if you're creating and connecting and not contributing, and you're hoarding, then you're going to be miserable at the top with all this stuff or materials, and then you can implode that way. If you're connecting and if you one of them
creating,
is
connecting,
if
contributing.
Creating, connecting, contributing. If you are creating and not contributing, if you're creating and not connecting, then you have that spirituality that's missing.
Then feel like there's a void.
Yeah, there's a void, and then you get confused on why am I here? And that's when the mental health starts to kick in. Right?
Exactly. But that's why the beginning of the creative process has to be why. Why am I doing this?
Exactly.
What's your why?
Exactly.
Because if it's to make money, you'll be done.
Yeah, quick.
You'll be done.
Quick.
So what's your why? So you don't give up on that goal, and you keep going towards whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Exactly. And also too, you don't want to just create and not contribute, because then you're not sharing your gift with anybody. And that's
you're doing a disservice.
Yeah, then you're doing a disservice. And we talked about that the other day. Yeah. Right?
Well,
and that's when the frustration starts to kick in.
Yeah. And I think it's important that you said that, because this is what I mean when I say self-awareness. People don't feel themselves slipping.
Yes, exactly.
People, when you get into what I call flow, like I'm pretty sure everyone just calls it that flow state. Yeah. When you get into that and you get out, you can feel it.
Yeah,
you can feel it.
100%.
So this is where, when I give myself grace, if I feel myself slipping out of that, I'm very, very gently working myself back into my flow. I'm not going to be like, I'm off, I'm done, because then you're done. Then it's gone, and you're gonna have to rebuild from wherever you left off.
Let me tell you something. I have a story for you now. So the first 66 days I did last year to wake up at 5 a.m. Right. And for me, it was a breeze I wasn't used to waking up at 5 a.m. I don't know. It just seemed easy. Me and my mom, we did it together. And she was the only, well, actually we had a group. We had a group, Instagram group chat. And we used to say up. Everyone used to say up, 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 up when they're up at 5, right? So me and my mom were the only people that actually did the full 66 days in a row. Okay. So the first time was a breeze, but I felt I didn't cap my success. For example, I let it get a little bit like, I let it go too far. I was like, oh, I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. Then I started slipping. And the second time I tried, felt like it was 10 times harder because I didn't humble myself. And I was like,
beating up on yourself.
Then I started beating up on myself. And it took me a while. Now I'm back in it. But it took me, when's the first time I did that 5 a.m.? Like last year sometime, right? It took me till now to get back into that flow state.
That's why you have to have grace.
Exactly. So this is now a reminder to just chill out if I miss a day or so.
You're allowed to. Yeah. We're all human. I want to be extraordinary. I said that. But if I don't get up one day, I don't beat myself up because I got up the day before or I got up last week.
That's like me now. I'm not beating myself up when I miss a day.
And that is an important, probably one of the most important things in entrepreneurship and in business. It's not getting caught up in your failures. You're gonna fail.
Or your wins.
No, exactly. Well, so here's such a good
here's the thing. Here's another.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into that now.
So here's the thing. So doing the because I come from a basketball background as well, and I have championships at the collegiate level, I have championships at the high school level, and I never really took in how hard it was because I had good teams, right? But for me, when doing that 5 a.m. 66 days in a row was a championship for me, right? However, it made me respect people like Kobe's, Jordan's, Serena's, because they do this over and over and over.
It's a game.
And it's so hard. It's easy to do it the first time. The second, third, fourth, fifth, and for Jordan, sixth, that's a different mindset that made me respect those people way more. Way more.
Well, so, okay. So when we talk about retiring early and having that mindset, I remember the day that my brain
switched.
The switch went off.
Me too.
Yeah. And the switch went off to the point where now you know what you're capable of and it becomes a game. And I laugh at myself. You know what I mean?
What was that switch? I want to explain mine after, but what was that switch for you?
So I can tell you the moment I was at the gym and I was in the gym in my facility because I own my facility. And then I have a small gym that I have for myself that I work out in the morning. In there, I have, I can, I will, I am on the wall because that was always my saying to kids. I can, I will, I am. You'll get there eventually, you know, just if you think you can, you will. And when you do, you are, you know? So I'm working out and I look at myself and I just like made eye contact with myself. And I'm working out and I'm like, I was like, I was literally like, it's on. I am now. I'm here. So now it's me versus me. And I'm going to keep laughing because when I'm working out, and I can use working out as an example, but this is all the time now because life is just one big game. It's always going to be you versus you. 100%. So when you're waking up at 5 a.m., there are times where I'm like, I don't want to get up. And my brain's like, and it's like, damn, okay.
That's what I was telling you today with my workout. Literally, I didn't want to do it. I was like, I'm here. Literally. And I'm like, all right, let's get it done.
Exactly. And then when you're done, you're like, I ate that up. That was exactly what I needed. And so there was one of the things that I started doing 2 years ago was cold plunges. So fighting your mind when your mind is telling you you're done, you need to stop. You have to stop. Pushing past that and then realizing you're stronger than all of this. Whatever's going on down here, it's a very liberating feeling.
Amazing. And I feel like, for example, to change the people around you, you got to change first. And I've noticed that.
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
Exactly. So
there's no other option. As
I keep doing these challenges with myself and I keep elevating my frequency, I feel like the people around me are they're changing. And it's just like, whoa.
This was a conversation I was having earlier, and I mentioned it. I mentioned something along the lines of this to you, but as your frequency rises, people start dropping like flies too.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
You start to realize that you can only communicate with people at their level of perception.
100%.
So it becomes this, like, you're talking to someone, it becomes this game. And I remember when I first got to kind of a higher level, and I would ask one question. I'd be like, what's the question? I forget what it is right now, but I would ask one question just to find out where someone was mentally, you know, and it gave me everything I needed.
You need to tell me that question.
I know. I know.
I need that.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Okay.
But I think I don't know if, okay, no, maybe it wasn't a question, but it was more the way that I would have these conversations. I became very curious. I no longer knew the answer to anything. I'm
so you had an ego death too.
It's gone. It's been gone. Minimal millionaire, you know? So yes, I got to the point where I was just so curious.
Yeah.
And then I would say to people, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what you think life is about. I'm interested. And then you start to realize some people are like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
What are you asking these stupid questions for? What do you mean, what's life? And I'm like,
okay, that's where you are.
Yeah. Like, we don't have to have a conversation. Yeah. But then there's people that are like, man, life's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm content with where I'm at. And I get to do beautiful things. And it's just two completely different frequencies.
Okay, let me tell you something. So I've never admitted this on camera. And so my moment, right, was I don't drink. I'm not into I don't smoke, right? But it was during the pandemic and I was just curious, right? And I don't recommend this for anybody. Yeah, I don't recommend it for anybody because I can understand how some people may not come back, right?
I think I know what you're saying.
So I can understand how some people may not come back, and luckily I'm very mentally strong, so I could handle it. But I did shrooms.
Yeah.
So I will like.
Oh, shit.
Like I've
changed everything. Yeah.
I've never been the same. I've never been the same.
It's funny that you say that because me too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. The first time I did shrooms, I found myself.
Jeez,
you know what I'm saying? I found myself, and I came out of that trip like game on.
Yeah. When was yours?
2018.
Okay, so mine was 2020? 2020?
No, 2020.
2020.
Yeah, so I did mine just before I started my insurance company. And I started reading up on people like Steve Jobs and Walt Disney and how they used to microdose. That's where they got all their creativity from, was microdosing these mushrooms. So I'm like, let me see what's going on.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. And it makes sense. No, when I hear you speaking, it makes sense.
And it's you versus you from 100%. That point on.
100%.
I love it. See, and that's why giving myself grace is easy.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
I don't pressure myself.
Yeah.
I know what I want to accomplish, and I know I'll get there.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Because my trip was so intense. I was high for like maybe 6 or 7 hours, and literally I was seeing my childhood. I was seeing the future. It was like let's say like it was God taking me through
your journey,
everything of life. Yeah. Like it's to this point I still make downloads from that high. Like I still can't put certain things into words because I felt like it was like, okay, I'm gonna show you something, but it's not up to you to preach. Just do. So that's just know and just live and be the best you. So literally there's times on that trip where I was bawling my eyes out, like bawling.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
What was my favorite saying? it's a lot. This is a lot. I
It's
said
a
that.
lot.
Yeah. Because I called him and I was like, this is a lot. Like, no, this is a lot. And I said it over like 100 times. I'm like, my two big sayings were, it starts from within, and this is a lot. And I had people around me writing what I was saying because I was giving out so much information.
I think that this is a lot is a testament in itself, because I had that same thought too. It's like, this is a lot.
It's a lot.
But for those who can handle it and transmute it, you end up here, right? You could have ended up lost.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to still say this. I don't believe this is for everybody.
It's not.
And for, if you feel like your mental's not that strong or what have you, don't do it, because I can see how people can't come back from that.
Well, but it's also, how willing are you to let your ego die?
Yes.
How connected to this are you? Because if you're okay with being authentic and you don't care what everyone else thinks, the ego death is a breeze.
Yeah, 100%. That's where I am today.
You're okay with being by yourself, because life is a beautiful thing. I could sit in my backyard and just chill for hours.
Yeah, me too.
I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm content. So some people can't do that.
So for me,
if you can't sit still, don't do mushrooms.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You'll be done.
That's a good measurement right there.
Yeah, you'll be done. Because literally I was in the same spot. I was in 2 spots for 6 hours, just
talking,
word vomiting, understanding, preaching, understanding what people are asking me. Yo, what do you see? Literally, the people around me, they were like, people go for a lifetime to get what you're getting, and I was like, you know what? Because of that, I don't think I'm ever gonna do it again.
You don't have to. You got what you needed.
I got what I needed. Yeah. I feel like we all have different mediums of getting enlightenment.
It pushed you to where you needed to get to.
Exactly, because it was before Black is New Rich.
Yeah.
And I was doing nude photography before that.
Yeah.
That's done. Like, that Corey is like dead.
Yeah.
Dead. Like, dead.
Yeah, I know. So one of the things that when I had my trip, I went into a forest because I love being in nature.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful trip. And I walked from one end. I was in Burlington. Don't ask me what I was doing in Burlington. I don't know how I got there, but I was walking to I guess it would be the yacht club there, like right on Ontario Place. I don't know. But anyways, we walked through this forest, and it was an 8-hour adventure. Yeah. So we walked through forest, we walked no shoes on, through water, through whatever we could to get to this ending. And we were tripping the whole time. But I was having my own experience in the sense that I was seeing animals. The one part that stood out for me was we walked through this forest, and it was a forest, and there wasn't a path. Like we were one being with nature that day. We were just getting through. Yeah. And so we had just gone through water that was probably up to here. Like we walked through this water. And when we got to the other side of this water, that when I tell you I did not want to walk through, it was like pulling teeth to get me across this water. I'm like, guys, I'm not getting in there. Nope, not a chance. I got across the water. On the other side was just this big, open, beautiful green field. Jeez. And everyone just like fell down, and they're like, holy, we just need a minute. Yeah. And I just stood there, and I was like, this is what was on the other side of that. Jeez. And I was like, okay, so that's my metaphor to keep going. Yeah. Even when it gets rough. And I don't want to do it. And because everything in me, and I have a video of this, I'm sitting there, I'm like, no. Sorry, guys. This is the end for me. You guys go ahead. Yeah. I'll stay here. Yeah. Anyways, I made it past. Then I got to this field, and I stood there, and everyone's laying down and talking about how tired they are, but something told me to stand there. So I stood there, and I looked up, and there were 3 eagles or hawks circling around the top of this opening. I'm looking at them, and I was like, universe, if these are here for me, make them land. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see them land. Yeah. So one by one, they started landing, and they landed on the trees. And then I heard a voice that said, "Be still and conquer all." So now I took that and I use it all the time. And when I get overwhelmed, I'm just still. Be still. Let everything come to you. The answers will come to you. Be still and conquer all. Jeez. And so that's always in my head. And that is what happened during that trip. And that was years ago. I'm like, cool.
Do you experience it with it now, or are you
I
done with
microdose sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to create.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a billionaire.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I just feel like, for me personally, like, I got such a message.
I don't think I would do
the hero dose
that much.
Yeah,
No.
I did a hero dose for my first time, not knowing what's gonna happen. I had no clue about this thing. I just like I was pandemic boredom, and it took me there.
But you know what? It needed to. I believe everything happens for a reason.
I don't think I would be doing this podcast if I didn't go through that trip, because nothing in my life has been the same. I don't think the same. I don't like.
You're not the same.
I'm not the same. It's not that person. It's just like dead completely.
Yeah. And so that's how I feel. But now you're in a better place.
Yes.
And now you have the ability to use everything that you learned during that trip to create.
100%.
And you may be over 30, but Freedom 40 is calling your name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Stay focused.
Yeah.
And people don't learn that.
Yeah.
You got to stay focused and stay still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Consistent. But stay still.
Okay,
too.
cool.
If you can't meditate, what can you do?
Exactly. Because it's funny. How do I want to say this? It's no shade, but for people that are, let's say, around me, or I'm getting to know, and they say, I how do you like hang out with yourself so much, or whatever? And they're like, I can't just be by myself. I can't do it. Red flag. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. I like, that's fine. I'm not like judging.
Teach their own.
I'm not judging, but they probably won't be for me in the future. And because that's scary for me, because it's like, if you can't hang out with yourself, how am I?
Exactly. And that means that they're not self-aware.
100%.
They're not spending the time to get to know who they are.
Yeah.
One of the I would say most detrimental thing to young people now is not knowing who they are. And so when they get into situations that require an emotional response, they're responding in ways they had no idea were possible, because they've never sat with themselves to figure out.
They're imploding.
The slightest thing makes people implode. There was a story in my hometown in Barrie of an 18-year-old girl. This was yesterday. Lunged and stabbed a police officer in the face because she was upset.
Holy shit.
I'm like, people just don't. They're losing their marbles, and I know that COVID had a huge impact on people's mental health and their well-being, but. If you can't sit with yourself, it's a red flag. I don't want to spend time with someone that's not comfortable with themselves. That's scary to me.
Yeah, that's scary to me now too.
Because you never know what's going to happen. They don't even know what's going to happen at the time.
Jeez. Okay, so when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for creating long-lasting impact. And for doing heart work, you know?
Heart work. I'm going to steal that one, by the way.
Yeah. But I would rather, like, I do heart work right now. I don't work hard. I don't work hard. And I'm not going to lie to anybody. I have a great life. I don't have to work hard. I work with my heart. And so I want to be remembered as someone that did do everything from the heart. And I'll be happy. Okay. You know, I mean, my legacy right now is a heart, you know, like my logo is a heart. Because that's the heart of my community. I'd like to keep that. I'd like to leave that behind for my community, for the kids in it. So I think that's it.
Dope. And for the last two questions that we ask every guest on this show, I want to know, what's the best advice you receive and what's the worst advice you receive? You don't gotta say names, obviously.
No, I won't. But actually, I will, because the
Okay.
best advice that I received was from Will Smith.
Okay. Okay.
And it's fail forward.
Oh, I like that.
I always keep in mind fail forward, and this goes hand in hand with the grace thing, right? You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. Just fall in love with it. You know, and every failure brings you closer to what you're trying to accomplish. So that was probably the best advice that I've heard.
Okay.
The worst advice that I've heard is be realistic. Be fucking for real.
Yeah.
I don't like people like that. That is the worst advice I've ever heard. Because
they're limited. They're limiting.
That's right. Don't be realistic. Be delusional.
Yeah.
Be absolutely as astronomically delusional as you would like.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if you shoot for the moon and you land on a star,
then you're good.
You win.
You're good.
There's no need to be realistic.
Okay.
Will Smith? Really?
Yeah.
Like in terms of like worst advice.
Was be realistic?
Oh,
see,
wow.
that's my boy.
Okay. Lit. And last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because we like to make predictions on this show. So I want to be like, Shak did say she was going to do that 5 years ago. So.
Okay. So 5 years from now, I'll be retired for sure. I'll be retired for sure. I'll have multi locations. Shak's World is gonna
Can we get a Saga location or what?
You can get Saga location. We can have a Toronto location. I'm trying to get one in Ottawa.
Okay.
So 5 years from now, we got multiple locations. I'm retired and I'm traveling and speaking, doing my motivational speaking.
Amazing. I love that. And thank you for coming.
First of all,
this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest, while we were talking about the frequency stuff, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to break this into 2 parts. And I have 1 week, the first part, and the other week,
Yeah. And so if you're going to do that, let me give you just one piece on the frequency.
Yeah.
I recommend that if you can,
Yes.
to sleep with your frequencies.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
So put a headphone in or put music on,
Okay.
but sleep with your frequencies playing,
Okay.
because that will raise your vibration without you doing anything.
Okay.
And literally you wake up in the morning feeling so
Refreshed.
different.
Okay.
The nights that I sleep with my frequencies
The hertz,
on,
like the 730 hertz.
yeah.
that stuff.
So look at whatever is best for you, but 432 is the one that keeps you
Mellow.
on. It's not mellow. It keeps you on the frequency of this planet. So when you're on the frequency of this planet, everything's attracted to you because it's just, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you do something like 888, which I've been doing recently, and that's for abundance. So it helps attract abundance into your life.
Okay.
So you listen to the frequency while you sleep, you wake up in that frequency, you can go out that day and collect what's for you, what's yours. Because
that's game.
Life is a game.
Yeah,
okay?
life is a game.
The universe is constantly conspiring in your favor. So if you go out looking for what is already yours, you'll find it.
I like that. I like
you just gotta
that.
go get it.
That. All right. So let everybody know like your where they can contact you.
Cool. So you can follow my nonprofit page. It's Shak's World on Instagram with an underscore at the end. And my personal page, which is going to turn into a little bit more of a content-filled space.
Yes, it is.
Is Shaky. So SHAKK.EXO.
What about that video?
So I'm going to get that to you. I'm going to get that on there.
Okay. But
I'm struggling.
Okay.
I'm struggling.
Okay, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
But honestly, Shak, all in all, I love what you're doing. It's super inspiring. I'm definitely going to be bugging you sometimes.
Yes,
if
please
you don't
do.
mind. If you don't mind.
I want to get into mentoring because I've been in so many different sectors. So if I can help young entrepreneurs navigate and even figure out their financial plans.
Yeah. Here's the thing too, and I think this is important for people to hear. It's an ego death, and I'm super comfortable with it. You're younger than me, but I look at you in a lot of ways as a mentor, and I feel like that's important for people to know that it's not about an age thing. It's not about that thing. It's not about that at all. And if you go ahead.
I just want to say that age is but a number, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Because experience has no age limit. And I'm going to tell this story, and you put it in or you don't have to, but I'm going to tell the story because I think that it shows where I was and where I am and how much growth that I've experienced.
100%.
So regardless of my age.
Yeah.
So when I first started my journey into entrepreneurship, I really bet on myself. Like when I started my insurance company, I put everything that I could into it.
Yeah.
And so I had no money. Like I had no money. And I remember one night scraping together like $2 to go to the Circle K on the corner of my street to buy one of those cheese Tostito things.
Oh, gee. Yeah.
And that was my dinner. And then I had to spend like 75 cents to get my dog some food because I was like, I don't have no money at all.
Yeah.
And I drove that 8 hours in a car that I bought for $1,500.
Jeez, and made that 15 grand.
And made 15. That's right. So I've been through it. You know what I mean? Like that was a whole, that right there. The reason that story sticks with me is because I remember being in that Circle K and saying, I'm never going to be here again. Yeah. There's no way you can catch me spending $1.25 on my dinner. Are you crazy? Yeah. So it fueled me. Now,
amazing.
I could buy that Circle K.
Yeah. Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Jeez.
So it's not about age. It's what you do with the experiences that you're given.
100%.
And how you bounce back from them.
100%. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Shit.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Just kidding. I'm not going to drop your mic.
That was...
Everything black on black. If I study that facts on facts.